Hi, I'm Heinbach, and what I have here is one of the rarest drum machines ever made. This is from 1991, made in Latvia in the last days of the Soviet Union. As far as I know, only 30 of these were made. I have no idea if this will work, but let's check it out. Oh! It's falling apart or it's opening up, but it's a big one. Ah! On sheer looks alone, this is gonna be amazing. Oh, we're in business. It turns on. Ooh. This is pretty crappy, but yeah. Oh, and this is loose already, so can't get it to really do anything here. I'm gonna get my tech to fix this up. Spinnen siehst du drin, natürlich noch Spinnennetze. Ooh! Sequencer works. Bravo! Bravo! High five. The melodic parts were made by the wonderful Maestro synthesizer, but this has a keyboard too, and each of these voices is basically a synthesizer voice. There is not much difference between each of these, so you can make an entire track with just this drum machine. Let's have a closer look at the functions. Each of the 5 voices is identical. The top knob is trigger sensitivity. Then we've got attack, which is the attack function of the envelope. This a bit up with the tone here, so you can hear it if you're listening to this on mobile, which you absolutely shouldn't. And here we've got the decay. This goes very long, and it has a pitch envelope that you can hear. The pitch envelope is always there, which makes this machine wail and mourn. This is just a volume, and here is a simple white noise. So either you've got the tone or you've got white noise with the same envelope, and here's a filter for the white noise. There's not much to it, and the sounds are rather pillowy, soft. They don't get really hard. As best as I try, I can't make this really kick hard, but I can make it oomph. That's about as hard as it gets without using external effects and compression. But since it's so soft, it takes wonderfully to both compression and distortion and effects. It's a very solid signal that you can shape further. But now the sequencer. It is rather primitive, but it is effective. Let me guide you through it. First, you select the slot, and you've got up to 16 slots, and then you can just play them one after the other. Then you go to Programming, and here now a little light pops up. This means that this channel is selected, and you can switch from channel to channel to channel to channel to channel to channel, but first you need to go to the 0 channel, and the 0 channel defines the track length. So I'm gonna delete everything, and then I'm gonna go step, 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 step. Then I'm gonna hit save. Now we've got an 8-step sequence. Let's assign the first sound. So we go to this one, and for the first step I write a note, then blank, and then another note, blank, another note, blank, another note. Now I can save this and go to the next one. Now I have to switch to playing again, playing and programming. That's how you program on the RMIF ES-2-5. It's primitive, but it works. You've got an amp output, a headphone output, and inputs for each of the voices. The only resource I found is from the online Museum of Soviet Synthesizers, the Ruskies.net site. Electric Percussion Kit, which has autorhythm, is the analog experimental model that was created and applied in industry by Riga Musical Instruments Factory RMIF in 1991. A group of radio engineers of Kumatator Factory created this instrument under the leadership of designer and musician Ivar Krivich. I thought if there's one person that knows about these machines, it is someone who makes instruments in Riga right now, and that's Gertz of Erica Synthesizers. Ivar was the one who inspired me to develop Fusion series of modules, and in fact the first version of Fusion modules were based on his schematics of his DIY vacuum tube-based synthesizer. Unfortunately, shortly after we launched Fusion modules, he passed away. A friend of mine is a walking encyclopedia when it comes to RMIF instruments. He knows every detail of every instrument and all engineers who were involved in the development of them, but he never heard of Ivar's work in RMIF, not to mention leading a group of engineers. So that trail ends there, and Ruskies.net remains the only info. ES-2-5 played sound of bad quality and worked thoroughly bad. As a result, it was shelved by the factory that produced about 30 models of this instrument. It has never been on sale in Russia. On a global market, after the fall of the Soviet Union a few months later, this machine would have had no chance of surviving at the time. Look at what drum machines were like in 1991 and what they could do. They were all digital, MIDI, programmable, everything, hundreds of sounds. This would have just been laughed at. Even within the Eastern Bloc, there was a strong competitor, the Vermona DRM drum machine, which I covered in this video, is way more advanced than this. This is such a primitive device that only today, I think, can find its beauty again. Today we can get any drum sound that we like in any form or shape, cheap, for free, it's all there. But something like this, a device that forces you to work within its limited parameters and has a very warm analog and alive sound to it. That's something special. And I prefer this to other drum machines of the past that I've encountered in my search, simply because it was an experimental instrument. It was, let's see what we can do. And that shines through. It is more of a synthesizer. Speaking of drum sounds being downloadable, if you're on my Patreon, you'll get a sound pack of loops from this machine as well as single sounds. And of course, a track from this video. Your support there is what keeps this channel going, so thank you very much. If you've any more knowledge to add to this machine, please write it in the comments. I'll make a featured post with everything, every new information that comes out there in the community posts. If you have any more questions, let me know, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.